We have another game, and it is 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Indianapolis Colts 8-6, 4-2 on the road at Arizona Cardinals 10-4, 3-3 at home. We're at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. This one is shaping up to be a beauty. Arizona 1-point favorites. Wow. Opening up at -1 at -110. Now they're -1 at -105. This total opened up at 48.5. It's now at 49.5. Take a look at the cash flow in this spot. We have 2,975 tickets in, 64% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Indianapolis Colts. What a difference a couple weeks makes. Then from a totals perspective, we have 63% of the tickets on the over, but just 50% of cash on the over. Rance saying under, Tasha saying under, Viper saying Indianapolis 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games on the road. And then Dan Kelly says that Browns pass rush just took a huge hit with McKinley with tax injury. It was sad watching him off the field. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet stat play is Arizona. Viper says the total's gone under in 6 of Arizona's last 7 games when playing Indianapolis. Harold Williams says Colts plus 1.5. I've seen enough of the Cardinals. Colts coming off their second straight win and 5th in the last 6 games, 27-17 at home over the Patriots. Their first win over the Patriots since 2009. They were up 20-0 entering the fourth quarter. Carson Wentz went 5 for 12 for 57 yards, a touchdown, interception. That is all he did, but that's all he had to do. Jonathan Taylor did all the damage, running 29 times for 170 yards and a touchdown. He's run for a touchdown in 11 straight games. That ties Hall of Famer Lenny Moore for the longest streak in franchise history. They rushed as a team for 226 yards on 39 carries. Darius Leonard all over the field, 10 tackles, 1 pick. Kerry Willis, 9 tackles. This defense looked excellent, but they did finish with 1 sack, 5 quarterback hits. It doesn't take away how good they looked. Bobby Okereke, sorry, I keep forgetting that he wants his name pronounced different. Bobby Okereke had the team's other interception. The Colts have at least 1 takeaway in 15 straight games. Ryan Kelly missed his 2nd straight game. Last week it was the COVID list, and this week he's dealing with the death of his infant daughter. I'm not sure if he will be back for this game. Safety Andrew Sendejo was placed in concussion protocol. Defensive tackle Antoine Woods was placed on IR due to a calf injury before the game. His season is over. The Cardinals came in off their second straight loss. A shocking 30-12 setback in Detroit to the lowly Lions. They were down 17-0 at halftime. They gained just 17 yards on their first 3 possessions. Since starting 7-0, they've lost 4 of 7 and look very vulnerable. And it's a huge game going on right now in SoFi for the Rams. Kyler Murray was 23 of 41, 257 yards, touchdown, interception. His ankle looks like it's still bothering him. He ran just 4 times for 3 yards. Christian Kirk caught 9 passes for 94 yards and a touchdown. Zach Ertz, 6 catches for 74 yards. Chase Edmonds returned from injury and had 6 carries for 53 yards. James Conner, 8 carries for 39 yards, caught 2 passes for 31 yards. This Cardinals defense couldn't get enough pressure on Goff. They sacked him twice. They hit him 5 times. DeAndre Hopkins went on injured reserve Saturday, underwent surgery for a badly torn MCL this past week, could be back for the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, games that the Cardinals will not be playing in. Defensive end Jordan Phillips is questionable with a knee injury. Wide receiver Rondale Moore hurt his ankle. He's scheduled to undergo an MRI on Monday. I couldn't get information on it. And defensive tackle Zach Kerr was inactive and is listed as questionable this week. Slatsy says Cards aren't stopping Jonathan Taylor. I bet it, but Wentz is always a concern. Colts won last week despite him. Birdie says Arizona 3-4 in their last 7 games. They are broken. All the Zona love is sharps betting analytics like New England last week. Stepping in front of Indy is not a positive EV bet here. I bet Indy money line plus 120. I can't wait to hear Bebsie break this game down. You have been right about these Arizona Cardinals. Take it away.
Look, it got to the point where I just looked like an old man shouting at a cloud. They just kept winning. And I kept saying they're not that good. But if you go look at some of those wins that they had early in the season, because there's people shouting recency bias as to why this number is the way it is. But it's not that recent. You know, it's been a month and a half of the Colts being the hottest team in the NFL. It's been a month now of Arizona falling off. Now, when Arizona was on that win streak to start the year, they had the most fumbles in the NFL over that stretch, with the second fewest lost fumbles. That's bounces. That's bounces going your way. That's and look, you got to be good to be lucky. I understand that. But this Arizona team is looking more and more like the team I said they were at the start of the year. A good team, not a great team. This Indianapolis Colts team, before the season, I thought they were going to be absolutely dominant. My only hang-up was Carson Wentz. So far, that looked wrong as hell over the first, few weeks of the season. But now the Colts are on fire, and they're riding an incredible defense and Jonathan Taylor, who I agree. I don't know how the Cardinals are going to stop him. Now, this is a Cardinals team that's banged up. There's stars out. Now that Hopkins is out for, a while, I don't see how they move the ball against this Colts defense that's been fantastic. I don't see how they stop Jonathan Taylor. And I understand that they're at home and they're in a must-win situation especially after getting embarrassed by the Detroit Lions. But I don't think they can do it. I was wrong last week when I thought about the Patriots being able to slow down, stop the Colts. I was wrong to get in front of the Colts train. I will not be wrong again this week. I am going to bet the Colts here.
Well, let's line shop. I imagine you want the money line and not the point.
I want the money line and not the point.
Well, let's break this down. First off, Vipe, my man Vipe says Cards offense doesn't look good without D-Hop, but I lean Cards. But I will be on the under. He says that defense should be embarrassed letting Lions go off. Slatsy says two teams going in opposite directions. Sometimes recency bias is the truth. B-Ball 619 says Arizona is one of those teams that when everyone thinks they're done, they come out and dominate. By the way, Dell, my producer Dell for the show, it's difficult for me to reach to highlight the comments. So if there are any comments, Dell, that you like, just feel free to highlight them on your own. I should have mentioned that beforehand. My fault. I tell you what, I think that there's truth to all of these comments. And Dennis Garcia saying, where is it here? Dennis Garcia saying, he made it very simple, and I highlighted it. Said, here's a hint. Don't look at last week. Arizona is an easy play. Because of this situation here where the Cardinals have looked so bad, I'm not going to bet the Colts. I'll stay off of it personally. And this to me is a Cardinals or no bet. I think the goal, and obviously you need to have a quantity of action and not a small sample size. But the goal will always be find a spot where you're buying low and find a spot where you're selling high. And I'm not selling the Colts high, but I do think that we can buy low on the Cardinals. In saying that, I don't know if I'm going to move on the Cardinals, but to me, this is a Cardinals or no bet. And at this point,
I understand everything you're saying. And I would say normally that would apply. But both of these teams are shaping up to be who I thought they were to start the season. And they started in complete opposites. I looked dead wrong for the first 2 months of the season on both of these teams. But over the last month and a half, they are who I thought they were.
Yeah.
And this isn't a recency bias for me, because you guys can go back and look at all these shows. I've been calling Arizona shit since the start of the year. And I've been, I was on the Colts heavy to start the year. I just think the Colts, especially the Colts defense, is too much for this sputtering Arizona Cardinals offense.
Well, you have options here. Colts are plus 101 at Pinnacle. They're plus 108 at Circa. So that's going to be the best line. I will pull up FanDuel. I thought I had it up. I don't. So I'm going to pull up FanDuel right now, and we're going to have to move on. I'm going to have to speed the pace up of this show, too. It's my fault. These are huge games, so coming before Sunday. But I'll tell you what, there's a very interesting line here at Circa. They're hanging the Colts plus 2.5 at minus 117, which is wild. Does that interest you at all, or do you want to focus on that plus 108?
Yeah, I'll take the plus 108.
All right, I'm going to quickly see if we can beat that here here at FanDuel, and then we'll move past this. And also, Dennis Garcia looking at the over as well in this game. But here we go, the plus 102 at FanDuel. Okay, so the best we can get is plus 108. So Bebsie is on the board. Bebsie Colts plus 108. Circa Sports